right, hello, hello. Let me just get this over here. All right. I hate that like the chat is going inside the broadcaster. Drives me nuts. Was so much easier before. All right, so data came in. Very interesting to see how the market has taken this one. One, again, they're seeing the red here at this 4.9, and they're taking that as massive dollar weakness, talking about pauses and things like that. But if you look at it, you can see core CPI. It did now again. One of them was forecast and did actually show that it did come down, but on a monthly basis, it did actually increase by a substantial amount. The market had prepared for it; they expected it. The core CPI number, though, was expected to drop back down, and it didn't. So we had one hold, one drop, and people are taking that as a massive negative. Again, the core CPI, this is the one that is the most dangerous, but the market is only caring and looking at this number right now. So they're seeing red. They're looking at this and taking this as massive amounts of dollar weakness. Yes. Hold on. Okay. So they're taking it as weakness. So we're seeing it more or less across the board. You're seeing it. It's cycling back, and now we're starting to see the profit taking coming in. As people look at this, they'll start looking at this number and saying, not really dropping, right? But right now, euro straight up. Not, I mean, it's not massive amounts, right? Pound has been kicking back in the last 60 minutes since that news came out. Dollar yen, obviously a little bit of a drop here, drop here, drop here, a little bit of a push here. Euro pound more or less flat. It's a red number, but kind of ticking back a little bit. And the ECB is actually, making some comments. Right, we have more ground to cover. Right, and then the pound yen -7, absolutely nothing. Right, completely flat. Um, so yeah, so we're gonna get some comments coming out of the Swiss pretty soon. The auction I wouldn't worry about too much. We have crude oil coming in today. And actually, let me just pull that now. API oil inventory report, so I don't have to do it later. Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. Let's pull this in. We'll put that right there for when we need it. And a little surplus. Um, so we have that going on. Tomorrow, we got all kinds of stuff coming in tomorrow. We got rate hikes for the pound. And again, could be pound. Again, it's expected that it's going to be a hike. If that hike comes in at 4.5, I'm expecting there are going to be comments of a pause, and there may be some pound weakness rolling back in. And then we have PPI, and PPI expected to be higher than it was last time. So, yeah, there's that whole play into this whole thing. Again, seeing weakness today come out could lead us tomorrow for a little bit of a more of a, I would say, dollar spike with PPI, um, and only because, again, the Fed doesn't really typically use CPI as like its main gauge. The market loves it, but the Fed doesn't really use it. It's not really one of those things that is a top priority for them. So it's there. It's nice. It's a headline number. The news can take it, but it's not the gauge of what's working, what's not working. And the Fed has been, said that multiple times, but it's what the market uses and it's what the general public uses. So this PPI data though dives a little bit deeper in there. Again, they were all negative last time. Expected to be positive. So, you know, seeing that data that we saw today, I feel like this could be a little bit more of an area. And again, maybe it misses. Maybe it comes in as 0.1 and 0.2, and people are like, oh, that's the market had forecasted more, and they failed. And again, I expect Waller just to say that we still have more room to run. I did hear, and this is the first time I've actually heard, besides like the crazies. You know how CNBC always has the crazies, right? And what do I mean by crazies? They are the people that are, they'll say like, oh, we're at a top or we're at a bottom or it's gonna do this, like something crazy, right? Bitcoin to 100,000, right? It's those people. Um, yeah, it's not those people. Anyway, they had somebody on and they basically said that, hey, listen, they've removed the forecast of the Fed starting to cut rates this year. They've started to remove that one. So, I mean, it took about halfway through the year. We're not done with a raise or a pause. And they said that they've now removed that, right? So that's, it's a good thing. I think this is going to be an interesting market mover tomorrow, as well as unemployment claims, which I don't think are going to be big. So that's the next 24 hours. Craziness, right? VIX. So VIX data, again, was a little bit high. Is that truly a high number? Nah, not really. I think on this one, the most part, the reason why I dropped is because the data is out there. Again, there's anticipation, like, oh my god, is it going to increase? Hopefully not, right? I mean, nobody wanted an increase in it, right? So it's good that it went back down again. Um, but is it going down really, really fast, like point 0.1 a month? Right? Is point 0.1 a month great? No, it means we got another 2 years of inflation, double or triple, right? It needs to move a little bit faster than that. So yeah, pulling back slightly, but not, not at a level where we're like, yeah, yeah, right? So not the best. So, but the data's out, show dollar weakness, boom, big pop to the downside, which is what you should see. Now, did the dollar really move much? A little bit, right? I mean, here's what we had in the overnight, right? 3 o'clock is right there. What did the Europeans do? Drove the dollar up and up and up and up and up, and the 530 reversal kind of pulled back a little bit, and then we went up and up and up, and we sat in a great zone. Great candle. Love that candle. And again, we're not, trading Dixie in general, but using it as kind of what we do in other things. And look at that candle, right? The green, the top, one peak. Love that. Love the wick to body formation. All that was awesome. Super easy level. And what did it do? Drove right up in time for the news to come out, and boom, big push to the downside. And now everybody that saw that number and tried to react after the number came out, you're seeing it rally back up again. Indices, for the most part, in the green. Russell, biggest mover at 0.77, as it should be. Any data that is taken as weak for the dollar tends to be good for the stock market. It's actually funny. I was in the car last night for when Kramer was on. Yeah, that guy, he's all over the place with things, but he was talking about, typically what's good when the dollar is weak, it's good for stocks, and these are the stocks you want to buy, and, commodities, and, funny stuff, but it's funny that he was mentioning it. But anything that is considered weak will typically be good for the Russell. It's looked at, yes, inflation's working. They're not going to keep going. We're not going to make it harder. It's all fine and good, but I gave you guys the warning on Monday that the next big problem is not really this. It's going to be China doing something. And I guess I saw news come across this morning. I didn't read the articles. I don't know what it said. I just know that China was threatening, I guess the EU is again, I guess China gave Russia military aid or something like that. So the ECB is sanctioning them. And China said that, okay, well, we can play that game too, threatening sanctions back against the ECB. And again, remember, why is that important? Or it's like, oh no, they need the EU. They don't need the EU, right? Remember, the G7 is not the leading force in the world, right? The BRICS group is, which China is a part of. So do they need the ECB? No. Can they really screw up a lot of the world? Yes. Yes, absolutely. So I don't think it's a battle that they want to get into. It's not Russia, right? It wasn't like Russia was a big export country, but China, quite a large export nation, right? So again, Russell, okay, I think that's where the inflation's coming from. Now, commodities. Yeah, commodities. Gold and silver, let's start with them. Obviously, a big pop down again. They're up just slightly right now, 2036 and 2565. They didn't really leave the area. I think there's going to be big action tomorrow with PPI. They will be associated with more. Again, the bond market tends to be more savvy. But again, big push down from 101.80 down to 101.20, 60 cents drop, and we're already starting to retrace back about halfway. So kind of seeing that there. Now, commodities, the energy commodities, right? The futures here, they are down a little bit, right? Are they down a lot or outside of the range? And not really. I mean, oil's down. We just saw that the inventory report showing is a little bit of a surplus, right? 1.32%, not that much, right? Down a dollar. 72, excuse me. 72.75. I feel like we're still high in this curve. You know, I think being down in the 60s makes a lot more sense. I like it down there. Maybe I'm biased that I like it down there, but I just feel like that's a better spot, right? Just a better spot. Natural gas, I think it's way too high. Down 3% today. I'd love to say that's a big move. It's not. We know that 7% is possible. 219, I think, is way too high. I don't think there's anything out there that really justifies it being that high. So again, I still think it's a speculator's market. Again, I think there's still some contagions out there. With the kind of war, not war. Obviously, I have friends in the military, living in DC. You tend to have some of those. And they're all pissed off at Turkey at this point. I know you guys are tracking that one as well. I think, again, if you don't know the story there, what happened was I guess, I don't know how it's not like, I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Turkey bought a Russian air based system. The United and it costs $2.5 billion or something like that. The United States is like, hey, give it to the Ukraine, and like, you're going to give us $2.5 billion for it? They're like, no. At the same time, because they bought the system, Turkey can't have the new fighters that I don't think it's bad, right? Because all we hear about is how they cost so much money and they're not that great. Or I guess they're great, but I don't know. Everybody says they're so far over the price of the cost and they're not advantage wise as much as they thought, etc. But they won't give them the Turkey. So they want Turkey to give up this missile system because they bought it and it was Russian made. But they won't give them the jets, right? So it's kind of like, who are we to tell Turkey to give up $2.5 billion? Like, maybe that doesn't seem like a lot here, but it is a lot for Turkey. But it's just furthering to fracture and piss off other allies at this point. So yeah, don't know. But again, I think the energies. I think once that situation is passed, I think they both drop. Now, looking at the currencies. Now, obviously, there's a big movement in this one. These are some of the things we had talked about last week or on Monday. We can go a little bit higher on this one. We were down in this area. I mean, we can see I just extended it across. We talked about having an area just a little bit deep. We talked about a potential Harry Potter trade here. Not that it couldn't go off of it, but looking in the overnight, you can see right here at the 3 o'clock window, it's actually the green one, right? The green one is the peak. There is your European market open. Okay, so we talk about this all the time, pre-positioning a trade. It literally drove straight down. The 8 o'clock candle, actually, it did touch. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm not augmenting. All I did was drag this across, right? The reality is it should have been, there's the zone if you're looking to go long, right? We're looking for a Harry Potter here, but you can see it hit at 8 o'clock. And what was the result? Monstrous move. Okay. So again, standard news-based trading, pulling back to a zone, looking at what happened in the session beforehand. There you go. Straight down into an area, decent candle where there were buyers. We're looking to collapse. Again, we're looking for multiple hits of this area, so that gives us another hit. We're still looking for a break, and that break comes over here at 67.40. But again, super easy news-based trade. You can see this is quite the mover too. The risk level on this one, only small, 6 pips, right? Only 6 pips. And again, if you wanted to extend that a little bit for a buffer, you could have taken it more. And the response over here was 1 to 12. It moved 73 pips off of that one. And again, for the most part, as far as the news trading aspect of this goes, again, typically you're using more options-based product because this could have just been as easily, right? It could have just as easily done this, right? And again, that's why we tend to use options-based products. As it pulls down in there, we get something a little bit out of the money. All we need to do is blow through the top, and that's exactly what I've done. We're not as concerned about what the actual stop loss risk is on it. I mean, again, obviously, we don't want something that's like, oh, there we go. You're not taking that much risk, but when you have an options-based product, the most you can lose is what you get in. It can go lower and not stop you out. We're just looking for the spike, and there was where the spike came through. So again, big move, something like today should be well planned. Should be pretty easy. And again, you can see the big move up. The parabolic retracement back again is already about 60% of the way through, which is what you would expect. I mean, really, what does today's data really tell you, right? Well, 4.9 is still almost 2.5. It's definitely over 2 because it's between 2 and 2.5, right? It's 2 times what it should be on a yearly basis, right? What the target is. And we're seeing the core maintain its a higher rate, and as well as on the monthly go up from 0.1 to 0.4. And is that a sign is next month going to also be 0.4? 0.5 is going to go higher? I think there's some major problems. It's working, but it's working too slow. Okay. So again, tomorrow, could we see this exact same trade? Absolutely. If we tear back down again and dollar strength rolls back in my opinion, today's data, while it does seem like it's weak, I do think there is some dollar strength laced in it. Still looking for a break here, and I will throw an alert on this one. At this point, because we hit it again, we confirmed that, listen, buyers again, and it went lower than those guys. I do think it is important to kind of point this one out right here and say, hey, listen, break is 67.39, 67.40-ish level. We're setting that up for some dollar push. And again, if we just start messing around playing in here, but tomorrow's session, we're playing with this level and we rally up before the U.S. news, right? That could be the big call to get this thing down to 66.97. So again, a lot of play in this one. But again, alert is set. Aussie yen. All right. So Aussie yen, we have an alert set looking for a break of 90.86. You can see all it did was really base back. It did kind of the same thing. European market here. What did it do? It rallied up, it rallied up, it rallied up. If you're looking for the peak, there's the top. And you can see that it did grab it. If you got really, really conservative, it tickled it. I think it did touch it, actually. Yeah, it did. It did. It doesn't matter which one. If you use just the body or the entire candle, either one, it doesn't matter. You can see that it drove it up. 8:30 popped it right in and then reversed right back down again. You can see the acceleration coming through on this one. And the 930 candle being this red. So right now, I would say look for the break of 80.96 or 90.87. This is a level we mentioned on Monday. Look for it to break through, pause, come back, and push all the way down to 90.32. But again, this one we should actually, by the end of today's session, we should hear the ding go off on this one. Okay. Euro dollar. Here was our profit target that we talked about on Monday. We said, hey, listen, this is just way too big of a zone. The zone is, that's 15. It's not horrible, but look at that. And again, could you have just used more near term? Absolutely. Target was made first. Here was a candle. It looks like it hit yesterday at 9 a.m. Right? There's your confirmation coming in. Here is your 3 o'clock candle. And again, this one, the green is not the highest, but it did it very, very quickly right afterwards. By 3:30, it shot straight down into the news, planted itself there at 8, and then shot right back out the top. And it did not actually break the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it in there. But again, simple, easy, news-based trade. And again, this is what sucks when we're talking about it after the fact. Talking about 9 pips worth of risk. There's your 1 to 3. You can see it blew right through the top. And what did it do? It magically hit the 110. And what did it do once it hit 110? Boop, turned and rolled back down. Okay, so take this one off. We can run this one a little bit lower, which is fine. I wouldn't be surprised. Whoops, not that one. Yeah, we're sitting right at the 50 right now. That's what I was wondering. So yeah, I think this one probably comes back down again between today and tomorrow. I think we come and cycle back down to the 109. I do think the U.S. has more room to run than what the pound has. But just my take on the whole thing. I think that's the move that we are looking for. All right, is the full retracement of this down. Do you take it now? It's a little bit deep, right? A little bit deep, but I think it has the ability to go that much lower. Okay, and again, seeing this. We got more room to cover. So does the United States, right? Right. It's down from the peak, but we still got a long way to go, right? I think the U.S. is kind of in the same spot. I think there's a long way to go. I think if they just held now, I think it would take another 2 years before we got down that far, and I don't think they want to wait that far. Yeah, particularly because what happens this year into next year is a big deal. Right? If they pause now and inflation is going further, and then the China situation gets really nasty next spring, the election's going to be real interesting, right? Because I know it's early now, but we're going to start talking about election things and kind of preparing for the future. So yeah, don't worry, it's not going to be lost on China or Russia either. All right. So yeah, Euro pound. So not much movement in this one. You know, we had at a level back here. We were talking about kind of breaking through, looking for some type of a pause. We haven't really gotten it. You can see it. It kind of chopped through and then kind of used it again and then kind of popped up and used it again and went lower. And we had this area down here at 86.88. And you can see it kind of went in, popped, and went lower and then popped again, and went lower and then popped and went lower and popped. We're really kind of stuck here right now, right? And if you run this all the way down, you can see the old area basing where the last kind of major big push kind of occurred, right? It had problems, and then finally dropped. We got some room to run on this one, right? Take that one off. We'll leave that one there. It is lined up near the 23. I don't really. Again, this one is more of a proxy. We're up. I love this. We're up to 44 daily pips, right, on an ATR. It was 42, so we're up to 44. So we're cruising now. But if you look at the bottom of this, we had one hit lower, one hit lower. I don't really think this is a great stabilization point. If you have any more pound strength come in, I think this thing rolls. But you see this thing right here, right? The forecast is 4.5. They're coming to 4.25. You're starting to see it rally ahead of time. I'm kind of wondering if this one cycles up and becomes a short trade right here, right there, right? I'm wondering if that is going to be the call. Whoops. I did not want to turn it. I wanted to move it right there. Okay. And you may say, well, why? They're raising interest rates. Yeah, they are. Right? We know they're raising interest rates, right? But so does everybody else in the world. So when they see the raise come in, right? If they come in as expected and said, okay, now we're going to pause, again, that's weak. Everybody that sees the raise and says, holy crap, buy the pound, again, the market has already adjusted for it. It's already starting to move it, and you're seeing that kind of go up today. So if we're able to come up and kind of grind our way in the U.S. and European session, or the U.S. and Asian session, some decent shorting opportunity from that location. Okay. Now, is the euro pound how we take this one? Maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the best one ever. Um, you know, there are other pairs that I think the pound dollar maybe one to look at. The pound yen may also be a good one to look at. The euro pound has the least potential for movement. So just again, keep that on your radar, but still could be a potential setup. All right. Again, where this moves to. So again, if it continues to move today because of that European message, again, could be a strong pound move to the downside based off of this news. All right. And that news is at 7 a.m. tomorrow. This is what's good about this one. 7 a.m. It's not at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Because again, they release it at the end of the market day, right? So again, it's a good time. It's something that everybody can get up and trade tomorrow. But right now, I'm looking for short coming out of that decision. Euro yen. Okay. Now, euro yen obviously taking on the chops, but here's the thing that's funny about this one. There's your 3 o'clock candle. Oops. I guess I could technically leave it red, but that green candle right there happens to be 3 a.m. And what did it do? It went back into an area. And again, you could say, hey, listen, there's a base there and a confirmation. Guess what it did at the open? It hit that base and confirmation that was formed on Monday late at night, and it rallied back up again. And then the European market opened at 3 o'clock and shot this thing straight down. Right? Funny how that works. Right? Funny how that works. We are past right here, so we'll take that one off. We'd have to reverse in the other direction now, because again, we are now going from high to low. Okay, and right now you can see that 61.8 level is really kind of where the touch point is. You know, it wasn't a level here. Well, I guess it was. It was a 50. You can see that it came up and grabbed a 50 at a level, a confirmed level. So this would I didn't take this one. I'm happy and proud to say I was asleep at 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah, Kip actually stayed in his crib until 5:20 this morning. It's kind of cool with that, right? He was in his crib till 5:20 before I wanted to jump in bed. So that's a good one. But I did not take this one. But this would have been a great trade. Look, high to low, 50% retracement at a confirmed level, right? Nice little trade. Nice little short. And it's obviously, I'm not going to draw it. You guys can see that's out. We called for a target down here. You can see that's what we're hitting. So I'll remove it now. The next big area that we have below us that I think we could be potential turning. And again, for turning, it's actually sliced through here before. Again, 1, 2, slice through 4. I think it's an area we look at for potential reversals, but it's not a very high quality level in my opinion. Right now, you're seeing a bit of a retracement, and I would say, again, a little bit of basing here. I kind of want it to come down. You see, if it comes down to this 147 level, this drop with all this basing in here before popping down again, I think that's a decent level right there. We could see potential shorts, but we're not quite down to 147 yet. We need to get down to 147, but I think seeing how it chops down here at the 147.20 will tell us whether or not we're going to be looking to reverse. And I think it makes sense after the movement we've had today, particularly rolling in tomorrow, because right now we are at European session right now 123. It's got a 137 daily ATR, so we are starting to kind of get a little bit exhausted. Okay. Pound dollar. Any surprise that there's a spike here? Nope. Here's the trade from Monday, right? And again, kind of a little bit of a whip here. Tuesday morning at 2:30, came back up, and this is how we talk about finding the entries. And again, this technically was a no entry. Once it came back up to here, you may say, huh, it's gotten front run here. But look at this, right? Looking for the short. Once it missed it here, you're like, maybe I should wait for the next kind of level where I have confirmed. There you go. There you go. And it went past. So depending on how you play that one, you may or may not have got in. Again, alert went off. Take that off. Take that off. You can see this one actually was over here too. So it's the same draw, right? Here's your 3 o'clock. There was your peak. Drove it down. 8:30 sitting right here. Now, of all of the trades, the euro was a much better position. This one, you could have drawn this again. There is the descending candles or the ascending candles right there with a confirmation. So I'm going to say right now, yes, this is a zone, and you're always looking for the best opportunities of the pound dollar versus the euro dollar. The euro dollar was a better setup. It was a cleaner setup. It's one that more people should have been able to grab. Could you have grabbed this one though? Absolutely. Again, this is that little sawtooth. If we go down to a lower time frame, you see how it has it's the hiccup. It paused and then tested. So easier to see on the 15, but that's why on the 30, you're looking for wicks that do that, right? Higher wicks in an uptrend. All that means is on a lower time frame, you're going to see the pullback, right? Impulse, correction, impulse, base, pullback, takeoff. Came right back to the same level and took off again. So again, great news trade. Looks exactly the same. Just a little bit, instead of being low, it was a little bit higher up. As you see right now, it is already retracing. It's back at that 50%. I think this one tears back down as well. I don't think anything's really changed. And again, for this one, understand that we do, again, have the pound data tomorrow morning. I think this one, depending on what we see in the euro pound, I think this one has the ability to be a pretty decent trade. Um, just right now, we're just dealing with pure dollar, right? It will roll over and become a kind of a reversal back, and then we'll be dealing with the pound. Ideally, though, tomorrow, I think getting short this one. Again, here's you can see when we hit this one. Yesterday morning at 9 a.m., we said that this is where our target was. You can see right there that the target is passed here. I'll drag it here and then copy and paste it from the start. There's your target, right? And again, we're always looking at the candle behind. Right? I'll leave that there for now. This actually could be. Maybe we'll leave this one on there. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a decent candle. We knew we had buyers stepping in there. How far away are we? 60 pips away. We have some extra time on that one. That could be a bit. If we drive this straight down, right, that is a potential level we could bounce off of. That would qualify. That would qualify. That's one to watch. Again, it's at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So watch that one. That could be a little hidden sneaky trading there. And again, that would be more of a pound strength type move. But we'll see what the market does to prepare for that. 26. Yeah, I don't mind that one. We'll see. We'll see. But I think either of these levels are pretty decent. Again, we'll see what happens in the European session from 3 to 7. What happens? All right, we'll see. We're prepared for that one. But that could be, I think either of those levels, if we're sitting there, could be pretty decent. And yeah, so no entry, no entry. This one kind of did, but we'd been through there 3 times with higher highs, so not really the best opportunity to take this one short. You can see it did come all the way down. It did just miss our profit target. It came down to 169.58, and it came. We were calling for 150. I'm sorry, 169.55.7, and it came down to 158. So we missed it by 2.5 or 2.3 pips to the downside. After it kind of punched in here, punched in here, punched in here, I would have actually wanted to move this a little bit higher. Again, multiple times through. Once you saw this kind of spike here, this straight down, it's like, yeah, there's just not there's not enough anything, not a good level to pull off of. So we pulled this one guy off again. Missed a bunch of few. That one's out. This is out. Let's draw a new top. Did it hit? No. It's 3 o'clock. It's going to require a bunch of movement. It's going to require 130 pips. Now, can it move 130 pips in 21 hours? Sure. It's got a daily ATR of 159. It is pushing back down again, so we will see a bit of a retracement. But can we move 130, through those 2 levels? That may be more difficult. Let me see something real quick. Unfortunately for this one, I don't really like a lot of this. Yeah, it's 150 down. 155 up. Right now, I'm looking at this range as being where potential news is, right? And unfortunately, we're literally sitting right in the middle of this and this side. And again, this side's already been tagged, but I think it's a right. Those are the two levels that I'd be looking at for news, right? I'm trying to fall in love with something over here, and I'm just not falling in love with it. So I think either of those two levels is what we're looking at. We got 150 pips to move though, so it better get on its horse now. Start moving. Dollar CAD. Look at that. Dollar CAD not moving crazy, right? Funny, it went up a little bit, kind of came back down, and we're kind of still right there. What's the dollar CAD's movement? 39. 39. Only because the peak was here. If this doesn't move in the next couple of hours, we're getting real shy here. Look, oil's even down. Oil's even down. But kind of the same thinking. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning. What did they do? Drove it straight down. Right? Data came out, market opened, we pulled back up again. So, again, not a lot of movement here. Funny, the 5:30 move. Yeah, this one started at 9. So funny on a 4 hour. I think we don't typically use 4 hours for news. It's funny. So then this one initiated at 5. Is that out? Let me see. Yep, it is. So yeah. So I guess that one, if you had used time frame, the larger time frames, you could have got it. Again, more of a downtrend, and again rallying back up again for kind of a setup. A little bit risky of a setup though, just because it already bounced once. But again, looking for an area, and there's an area there, right? Where the top, there's a base there at the 23 basing top, and again a little bit of a confirmation the overnight. And then at 5:30 is really where it initiated. It's 13 for 42. I didn't catch this one either, but you could have traded that one. And again, that's more of an analysis on the higher time frame. You can see the wick right there against the wall. So yeah, not a bad trade. Kind of a combination of news. Yeah, not horrible. Yeah. So some of you may have grabbed that one. I wonder if Ryan. I should message Ryan. Be like, hey, did you catch this one? Ryan loves the 4 hour. I'm gonna have to shoot him a message. Be like, hey, Ryan, did you grab this one? Right, we're rallying back up again. 4 hour downtrend. We were low in the curve. 130 is right below. This is a Ryan based trade. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot him a message on that one. Ryan's all over that one. Let's go to dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss. We were out there. I'm just gonna pull that off for again, looking for the racetrack there. That's awesome. We tagged it. Yes, 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 yes. It did not break, but it went all the way down. So again, this one is adjust that there. It's good. It's fine. Pop side, we went through. We based again. We drove up just a little bit high, so the top side went. Pull this guy across. So the Swiss today do have show a little bit extra caution. We do have the chairman Jordan speaking today. Um, yeah. So yeah, talking about the challenges of monetary policy. Again, challenges, maybe like Hallie's looking about it. It could move this around a little bit. It could. It's not necessarily like what we are doing in this, here. It's just these are the challenges that we are dealing with. So it kind of gives you like an idea of what's important to them. If anything, I would say I kind of like this one more to the downside, right? Again, Is there a retracement in here? Yeah, there could be, right? We have a green, we have a red pullback, we have a green. It's really, really struggling. It's got 20 minutes to get above it, but it's really, really trying to put a green, red, green in. It was a decent drop of about 52 pips, but really at this point, let it go up. I'm more interested in this right now. I like the fact that it pushed this very, like, literally to the brink. Um, in news, and it blew through a lot of it and finally found some buyers. If it comes in and starts basing, chopping through, I think there's a decent short position in this one. And again, all you're doing is going from the middle of the curve to low in the curve. The risk on it is only 7 pips, so I like that. And all right, that's good too because your profit needs to be taken right there. Right. So yeah. Oh, wait, what are they saying? They're saying the month over month is zero 0.3 versus minus 0.5. Oh yeah, okay, it's the same. Sorry, I was looking at this one. I was like, wait, it's point two. Okay, so they have the same one. Whoop, my bad. So yeah, I think again, break of 88.68, right? And this is one of those ones, if you want to get a little bit of notification, throw that there and throw that one on. Okay. Euro pound. So this one sucks. So this one sucks. I'm gonna bring this across just so you can see it. It drove through a noose. It retraced back up again, and then it blew through the backside. So it's like, oh, really? You can see it more there. And again, did it go down? Did it base? It did. Did it hit the profit target? No, but it got super, super close. But it did go down. Here, we'll drop it even lower. It did go down. It did base. It pulled back again. It did not break through the top, and then it went all the way through the full profit target. So yeah, technically, I mean, on a 30-minute, no, because it went down and went right back up again. But it did go down. It did base on the 5-minute. It did come back up. Did grab it and go all the way through the top profit target. You can see it went past. So yeah, gotta hate when that happens. Right? Gotta hate when that happens. And again, we came across, and that's what we're looking for profit target wise. So yeah, turned right on our profit target. So what do you do with this now? And again, 1, 2, 3. I guess technically if it formed here, 1, 2, 3 with a front run, and it was just all the way through. I'd say this one, I'd be looking for kind of retracements back up again. I think it probably has stabilized. It found the buyers exactly where it should have. I mean, they're sitting right here. It's very easy to see, right? Again, remember, Harry Potters are not really meant for news. That's not what they're for, but it's always funny when you do see it go all the way through, come back and grab your level, and then continue back down again, right? It's just the catalyst is typically too fast. You're not getting the pause. And yeah, lower time frames we did, but you can see straight down, straight up, straight down, past hit profit target. I think 135 is where we're looking for this one. I would like this to rally back up again in preparation for tomorrow. If it does continue to push lower, there are a couple levels here we could potentially use for this one to pop. And again, it's going to be right here, this PPI number. Consumer sentiment is not as important. Was that lower? Yeah, lower sentiment. Yeah, I would like to see where this one pushes. I love 135 if we can get up there. You can see, I mean, even here, you can see there was a base right here, right? 3 o'clock, drove it down. 5:30 reversal came back up and it pulled right into that level before the news came out. So, was this a tradable news event? Yes, absolutely. This is no different than what we saw in the euro dollar and the pound dollar. It's just obviously the dollar's first here, so it's opposite, right? The other ones were the other direction. This one is this direction because again, the dollar is in first or second position. So again, it was more a news trade than it was a Harry Potter. It's just we had drawn that Monday, and it just it worked. But again, same news trade. I don't need to go back and revisit it right now. I look for this to come right back up to the 130 level. I like the form of base, and again, depending, I don't know, maybe can we? Let me see. Hold on. It's 88 pips. We could absolutely be there for tomorrow morning. Figure we got 22 hours to go. 22 hours. It's got a 129 pip ATR, so no problem. That would be a parabolic retracement move, as well as just bringing it back within inside of its range. So, yeah, I guess look, for really, I mean, look potentially here at 135.27 for the news right here. far as this one today, though, again, it just finished. It's the old target that we had. It really just hit it, so there's not much I can do with it right now. Crept up a little bit. TLT'd up just slightly. See what this oil thing is doing. Oh God, look at that. Now again, API report came in. Was expected to be low. Came in actually a little bit of a surplus, 3.6. Is that a ton? Nah, not really. Crude is expected to be minus 2.2, so a little bit higher of a down draw than what they were forecasting here, but came in as actually as a surplus. So that could potentially be, if it comes in at the 3.6, which again, different models, right? If it does come in at the 3.3, you're looking for a 5 million barrel difference. Right now, is it stabilizing? No, it is not. It's good that it kind of came down there and chopped through that. Keeps whining. I can hear Kip whining with Melissa in the other room. It's not stabilizing yet. Although I will say right now it is set for more of a short than anything else. Again, had a little bit of a spike at that 10 o'clock time frame, which is kind of messing it up. But right now you kind of have that on a technical basis. Take this one short. she's gonna freak out in a second. She was like, "You just won't stop." That's what we're looking at right now. And I will say with the kind of push down, again, obviously some buyers there, and then hit a hit, and they broke through to the lower level. I don't want to call this a racetrack because it's not. But there is a level of basing here that we have bounced off of. The question is that going to be enough of a smash through on that one? Right? Will that be enough of a smash? Or will that end up being the bounce? You can see it's really accelerating now in a 5 minute. So, and again, on the technical nature, this one's taking over. Let's look at natural gas real quick. We'll come back to that. So we were talking about finding a base in here. We're kind of at that base there. It's not the cleanest of bases, but we were talking about this one dropping. We talked about a break right here of breaking through 217. It's at 218, so it's about a penny high. And we were talking about coming down and being able to take profit on this one down this level. So kind of the same trade that we were talking about on Monday. Actually, Monday would have been in this area. Yeah. So it's turned and reversed. I do like that it based. I do think there's another trade in here. So I think 212. I'd say 212 before the end of the week is what we're looking for. And we'll get a little bit of help today, a little bit of inventory tomorrow, but not anything, you know. It's all right. Excuse me. It's all right. My phone keeps blowing up. I'm trying to figure out if Melissa's sending me hate mail from the other room. Okay, no, not yet. Hold on one sec, guys. Okay, I was trying to figure out if she needed that or not. What? No. Okay, sorry. Hold on. All right. So yeah, you can see right now gold chopping back and forth. Not. It pulled back to the level that we talked about Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We ended up grabbing that level, and it came back and used it again. Did go lower. So again, kind of telegraph what we talked about. It came up. It looked like it grabbed the 78. So yeah, so it is pulling back again. I mean, gold right now, was the data today enough to really change the trajectory of gold? Not really. I mean, it did bounce off the 61.8. It was the level that we talked about. And again, we did hit it and it pushed back down again. You can see, again, looking in the European session, it really didn't pre-position itself much, right? The 3 o'clock candle, it really, that's the open. And then that's what happened with news. So did it really move? Not really. It didn't really pre-position. You can see a very initial big spike up because, oh my God, it's down to 4.9, but then immediately retraced back again. kind of put a green in, which didn't go higher than a red. So right now, if this drops in the next, again, this is a 30-minute candle, the next 9 minutes, or not really even the 9 minutes, but until this prints a green candle, it's kind of given us a trend reversal to drop lower. And you're like, oh, wait a second, why is dollar strength coming in? Again, looking at the core number accelerating, there is actually more worry about that. I don't think we probably change trajectory too much. We probably stay in this time frame, but I do want to see kind of what it looks like tomorrow. This is not really a great zone. I mean, if you were drawing a basing level here, um, it kind of did what it should have done. Is it really a trend changing event or change, on a technical basis, trend changing? Eh, eh, it's all right. I like it more negative, but I don't think it's going to change trajectory too much until we get, something concrete. So, not a lot we can base off of news wise. So, I think the next thing as far as gold goes, again, obviously a confirmed area, but it has pushed it all the way to there now. So, there's really not a lot left in there. And again, it's a 78, so I'm not the biggest fan. But right now, with a red, green, and red coming in, I would say, hey, listen, we're probably going to test down into this level, probably 22, 23 ish, right? And even so, I mean, it's kind of hard because there's two levels in here, but looking at this level here, we've kind of tagged it a few times. And it's backstop, but yeah. So we can take this off. Let's pull this on the top side. Yeah. Look, see how the 50 now pops in there? So I say, look for some hiccups over there around 2024. But I would say we probably get down there today. So a little bit late to enter the trade, though. You can see gold is just barely in the green. Silver, look at that. Parabolic move, parabolic retracement. All the way back down again. We're exactly where the start of the move occurred. And kind of the same thing. Look at this. This is I love doing this. This is like there's where the 3 o'clock started, and there's where we were with news. Right? A little bit of a pop up, a little bit of pop right back down again, and then we did nothing. No market or no movement in the market at all until the news, and then it went right back up, and now we're exactly where we were before. There's a level there, but I would say that this one probably comes down, and I wouldn't be surprised if we come down and start testing lower into this 25-28 level, maybe in the 25-19. Um, Yeah, look, I mean, it's basically flat. 0.06, 0.07, right? So fully retraced back again from the news. We're literally sitting in between areas where we know we have sellers, and areas down here at 25 where we have buyers. So we're kind of at that 50% mark. And look at this, something like CPI, as big as it is, no movement whatsoever, right? No movement whatsoever. So yeah, not really a trending device asset. So yeah. Yeah, no, I would say there's nothing besides that level that we talked about with the two bounces. There's nothing in this one. Nothing. And again, you see one green, one red. We'll see if gold is cycling through. So, yeah. I think PPI should be better, though. We'll see if we got some movement. And again, easy way to do this to figure out whether or not there's movement or not, mark it off at the European session. Wednesday, just mark like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then just confirm it's 8:30 tomorrow. Should be. No reason it shouldn't, but yeah, 8:30. Just making sure that wasn't one of the weird ones at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, look to see what happens from there to there. But yeah, not necessarily surprised by that. All right, let's go down to a 15. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Apple, not a bad pop. Nice little pop. It really hasn't done much since the open. It was all overnight movement. We got Tesla wise. Tesla, it's not bad. We knew 175 is a big deal. We'll see if they can get up there. There are some sellers. A little confirmation up there. Not horrible. But I will say it looks like the indices are all taking a little hit here. So, VIX coming down. Again, news is out. Initial pop at the open, pulling back. Dollar again, retrace back again, a little bit lower, but again, stalling now very, very fast. Let's see what we got here. Obviously, 8:30 news like CPI when we're in the environment we're in is not really the opening print type time. And unfortunately, that's exactly what we saw. 930 peaked up and grabbed it. It was beyond where anything, right? The news popped it above. So while kind of a parabolic move, not really for an open. Yeah. I mean, again, this goes lower. We normally using the 15, right? We're normally using the 15, but again, you can see some of the wicks back in there. And we did know there was a lot of movement. If you took the top, whoops, if you took the top that was formed at 910, 915, 920, 925, 930 popped up and grabbed it, there was a short there. So there was a short on the lower time frames. Again, we typically don't go that low on the opening prints, especially after news. And the only reason you would have done that at all, right, is because this was a parabolic move based off that news that came out. It shot it straight up in the air. And then you were looking for the reversal, right? The confirmation of it. There's down, there's up, did not go as high. And then once it opened, it's kind of like, hey, you break through here, we're pulling the trigger. And that's what happened. So it hasn't retraced fully. I will draw that on there. Again, the full retracement of this one would be back down here. So it looks like this one has the ability to move a little bit lower. So I'm not going to count this, even though you could have actually, again, looking for a parabolic, again, in a parabolic retracement course, yes, you would go down to, you can go down to a 5-minute. For the opening print, the way that I've laid out the rules, we typically use the 15, not the 5. But had you said I'm doing the parabolic retracement, not the opening print, then yes, it's a successful parabolic retracement. Using the 15-minute, this would not have been, you would have been here. Yes, it did pull back up again. So maybe, but it's quite risky. But we were looking for shorts either way. NQ, what do we got here? Kind of the same thing. Yeah, the 930 candles down here. There's nothing to buy off of. There's no confirmed level. So there's, yeah, it's green 1%, but it's not a long. Like you would not have been looking to go long this position. On a 5%, a 5 thing too, look, you can see it goes right through the top. There was no real, it wasn't there at the open. It just used it and went lower. So no confirmation to go long. Ideally, this one you would have been looking to go long anyway. So higher, higher, higher. You're looking for a pullback. Nothing confirmed. No levels here. And parabolic retracement wise, again, this green. So the difference between this one and the last one, you may say, well, why is this one different? Red, this green did not go above, right? Did not go above. This one, right? Green went above, right? So it did not qualify, right? Red, green went above, so we're not in a trend reversal. Red put it in, that's good. Green went above, no reversal, right? Red, green went above, no reversal. The red's in now, there's the green. If we can print a red below, now we have our 1030 reversal to push back down again. We're probably clear until we have buyers in this level. Okay, just because that's where, again, this level of basing right here. A 1 minute, you probably see it. Yeah. Kip is having a meltdown. So yeah, opening print, nothing on this one. Let's see YM. Full parabolic retracement. There's your pop up. There's your 915. There's your 930. It didn't go above. This is probably the 5-minute one too. Yeah, it's the same thing. Red, green, red all the way down. So yeah, you could have done it. And again, if you did this on every single one, again, in all fairness, right? If you want to do this on every single one here, good. NQ, if you had said, oh, look, I'm taking it. I'm going to do the same thing, right? When this one rallies back up again at 930. Okay, so successful. And I'm just going to say +3. Obviously, they're a little bit different, right? But +3, -1, +3. So you're to +5 at this point, right? If you had done the same exact thing on all of them. Okay. Even though they're a little bit different with where they popped. It's funny. YM, full retracement. Straight up, straight down, and we're exactly where we started before the news came out today. Right? Russell. Profit target on this one should have been here. We missed it by just a little tiny bit. Kind of same thing. This would have been a no entry. If you're using that as your peak at 910, there's your pullback. It never gave us the pullback. It just continued to deteriorate. But what was it? Parabolic move, right? And again, red, green went above, canceled it out. There's your red, there's your green, did not go above. Boom. And it ran all the way back down again. So, yeah. So, again, not really an opening print morning, but had you done the same trade setup for everything, you ended up as +5. There was your pullback using the top, taking the parabolic retracement trade. +3, -1, +3. again, parabolic move all the way back down to the base. So funny how that works out. All right, let me see what the oil number is. 3. So again, a miss by 5 million barrels. Let's see what oil did. Yeah, look, it went all the way back down again. Yeah, it's just chopping back and forth. Yeah, so see how this one went higher? That's exactly what it did. It went higher and higher and higher. So this will be looking for, there'll be a short trade in here somewhere. Yeah, look, no stabilization here. Higher, higher, lower, and then we kind of pinched. I guess that's a stabilization. I guess, kind of, but right in the middle. So, yeah. Look, red, green, and if red closes up or green closes above, it looks like this one wants to run. It is having some problems here, though. Look at the base right here. Drop, base, drop. So, yeah, oil not the greatest one today. You know, like I said, a lot of movement on that 5-minute chart. Look at this. That's a lot of movement in 5-minute candles before news today. So, yeah, it's funny. Still spiking. Hey, we got a big surplus. Everybody's short. And that's why this is popping. So, yeah, I'd look for a reversal. This is actually not the worst reversal. Again, bracketed in with a 50. It'd be nice if it was just a little bit higher. But it's bracketed with a 50. So, all right, let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. Oh, looks like it's going to be a cheapy one today. I will give this the 630, then I will shut it down. This afternoon. Okay. All right, let's shut this one down. All right, it's going to be a cheapy today. Everybody's in with some numbers today. All right, winner's day sterling is. Ooh, Nora takes it. Nora only hit 2. So Debbie, you did the right thing. You did the right thing, Debbie. You were going against all heavy hitters today, right? You were in the deep end with the Sharks, right? In the deep end with the Sharks. Debbie, I almost gave you the points because I was saying your name. And again, we missed yesterday, so it's a double. So again, you were in there with the Sharks, Debbie. That's just how it rolls sometimes. So, all right, with that, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Like I said, PPI is going to be another big one. Technically for the Fed, it's a more important number than the CPI. The CPI is what the public looks at. Things like PPI is more what they're looking at for one of the big major ingredients for the news. And right now, showing this much of an increase over last month, not necessarily the best thing. If it's worse, that could be a really rough day for the market. So we shall see. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will catch you tomorrow morning. And with that, have a good one.